Hello, I'm going to teach you how to play Under Wraps by Hers on the bass guitar. I hope you'll appreciate the song a little more after learning it. It's a sick groove. I'll start by playing along with this song.
And you're only just starting to live. Got a lot to gain and a lot to give. And it breaks me out to think about, 'cause I know that you don't want to miss anything at all, just because it is the truth. You've been away so long. Couldn't bear to talk about it, live without it. Holding, waiting, will only turn you on the ones and the ways that you can't act content. When who's to say they're gonna push you away? It means more to you than it does to them. So don't justify living silent.
Alright, that's the whole thing. It's got a lot of complicated parts, so I'll just start from the beginning. The beginning starts with an arpeggio that begins like this. Going down the strings, this is where I'm putting my fingers. No fingers on the E string. Then 13th fret, 12th fret, and 14th fret. And then the way that you arpeggiate or you play it is you play the bottom two first and go like, and then right when the snare and the tambourine hit, you hit the last string, so it sounds like this. And then you let it ring, and then it continues on. So the whole thing sounds like this. If I just repeat it. Then the next arpeggio goes like this from the E string. 11th fret, no on the next fret, 13, and then 12. So it sounds like this if I just play it. And then that continues straight on to another one, which is basically identical, except move the 11th fret on the low E string to the 13th fret. And then you've got the third and the last part of the arpeggio. If you play along with it, he'll just play it like this. That arpeggio sounds nice, but it's really hard to learn. You gotta practice playing with a pick on this one. I forgot to mention in the beginning, he plays it with a pick. You can totally play it with fingers if you want. It's also easy, or also manageable, I should say. And then from there, that's the intro part. For the verse, it plays something that sounds similar, but he's playing it down here. And it starts on the 6th fret of the E string, and then on the last string, it's the 7th fret. So it sounds like this. And that goes on to this, which is the 6th fret on the A string, and the 5th fret on the last string. And then that goes on to 8th fret. 8th fret's on the opposite strings like this. And then 8th fret on the A string, 7th fret on the last string. And this played in thirds, I think, so it goes like... And feel free to add in some extra filler notes here and there. You know, play a note more than once, because that's the way he does it in the recording. It's very loose. It's got a very loose feel. The whole thing sounds like this if I play it perfectly. That's basically what is played every time without fail. And then sometimes they add it adds in little filler notes here and there, like. So feel free to play around with that once you get it going. And then after that, we move into the pre-chorus. Goes straight down to the 3rd fret on the A string and bounces between the 3rd fret on the E string. So it sounds like this. And that's kind of the rhythm too. Bum, ba-da-ba-dum, ba-da-ba-dum, for the whole pre-chorus. So it goes... Then it goes down to the 1st fret on the A string, and then plays a similar trill going from the 1st fret to the 3rd fret on the E string. And now it goes up to the 5th fret on the A string. It goes like that. And now we're back. I'll just play it again so you can kind of hear how it sounds. For that last fill at the end before the chorus, 5th fret on A string, 3rd fret on D string, then the 5th and 7th. And then after that, there's a little pause with a little fluttering, and now it hits the chorus. We go straight down to the first fret on the A string, and then holds that, pauses for a bit, and then there's this fill, which is starting from the D string, 3, 5, then the G string, 3, 5, 3, 2, and then it goes down to the 3 on D string. And then it's the second part of the chorus section, which goes like this. It has a similar rhythm to it. It hits the 5th fret on the A string, then goes on the D string, 3, 5, 3, and then it hits the E string for a brief second on the 3rd fret before returning back to the B flat. So the whole thing sounds like this if I play it slower for you. So that's the chorus for you. And then the last bit before it returns back to the arpeggiating up here, which I forgot about, is it goes from 5 to 3 on the A string, and then from 3 to 5 on the E string. So it sounds like... And then we're back to the arpeggiating up here for the little interlude before the next verse. And the next verse, he does play one note like this when the verse starts. I feel like I ran with a head start. You don't hear it in the studio version, but he plays it live occasionally. Just thought I'd add that note in. Let's see. So yeah, that's basically all you need to know. Then he repeats those parts twice. So going from this arpeggiating into the outro, it goes straight down to the 1st fret on the A string, which might be a little hard to hit because it's pretty fast. And then goes from 1 to 3 on the E string, back to the B flat, and then finally it ends on the 3rd fret on the A string. This is a pretty tricky part, and it requires you to do some fiddling with the 1st frets here to really get that down, if you know what I mean. So if I play it slow, here's what it sounds like. And then it goes on to the next part, which I'll show you in a minute. It's the part that you can easily screw up. And then, so for the next part of this, it plays something different every time. I'll go through a few variations of this, but don't expect it to be the same as the actual recording, or even the same as the tab that I'm showing you. But I'll just start out with what I presume he's playing first. So it goes starting from this part. So that's basically doing hammer-ons on the D string from 3rd to 5th fret, and then going from the 5th fret on the A string back down to the beginning where we started again. And then it does hammer-ons, not on the D string, but from the 3rd to the 5th fret on the A string. And then it'll occasionally hit the 3rd fret on the E string, and then back. That one's pretty tricky. It goes from 3rd fret on the A string, 5th fret, 3rd fret on the D string, 5th fret on the A string, 3rd, then 3rd fret on the E string, and we're back. So that's that's 3 variations for you. You should be able to play through most of the outro just by improvising over those 3. So yeah, there you go. That's Under Wraps for you on bass. A few last notes before I conclude this. If you want to be like Auden Lotting, you can play it with a pick, and it'll bring out all those nice meaty tones in your bass, make it sound nice. And it's also really fun to play with a pick, just in my opinion, but you can do what you choose. If you want to get a similar tone that they have in the studio recording, turn up the bass and treble on your amp and turn down the mids. There's a lot of other things going on. If you have a chorus pedal, you can add that to your bass. That's what I have. But that's basically how you get the tone. So yeah, there you have it. Have fun with this song.